Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we see check out all the favorite stand-up party related. Why? Because Sunset of Time is still awesome, and sometimes you do need a break from the other rest of the awesome. Well, MF was talking to me on Discord and was wondering if I would read the real Chapter 1. Well, okay. I mean, sure, why not? Maybe he wants me. Maybe there's something more in Chapter 1 that he wants me to show off. Okay. Here's Chapter 1 of Diary of an Analog. Enjoy. Diary of an Analog by MF217. Odaiba Elementary School is a school I didn't expect to attend to in a long time. It has been many, many years ago. My mom wouldn't have dared to have the two of us moved back to Odaiba. Tai had met his first partner, Agumon, through a faithful encounter in Odaiba, when a wild Digimon known as Parrotmon infiltrated the real world. Those who fought quite brutally, but all the incident has become another memory in hindsight. I recall it very clear as day. However, if me is one crucial thing, I learned that those who see a Digimon ultimately wind up acquiring a partner of their own, becoming known as a Digidestined. Doesn't matter who you are or what you've done in your life. So long as you've seen a Digimon in any capacity while in the real world, your connection to the digital world becomes fixed in stone. Eventually, you will meet your partner Digimon at some point in time. It took years for me to meet my own partner, Patamon, after the incident with Parrotmon. Again, I was so young during said incident, I didn't even know what I was about to get myself into. Anyways, perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself here. After all, I was told before that I keep getting in different places in the world mixed up at times. I got called out back on it then, but now it's the time for some details. Right now, as I take the elevator in this apartment down to the ground floor, Petamon's hiding beneath my hat to keep out of sight. Sir, Digimon have appeared in the real world more than once by this point. I didn't want to draw too much unnecessary attention if anyone just casually saw Patamon clear as day. Even if I could hide him as a plush toy in plain sight, I feel like someone will recognize him at some point or the other. Hiya! I nearly jump out of my skin when I hear a voice that is spoken by a girl's voice, due to not recognizing the distinct sound of her accent. Her accent brings to mind someone from Osaka. And see, it sounds rather bubbly at that. As I turn myself around to face the door of the elevator, two individuals come into the elevator. A younger boy, who reminds me of myself when I was his age, and a rather tall, skinny girl, who seems to be a tiny bit older than me. I apologize. You'll need to be a bit playful seeing new faces. The boy speaks to me and I look at the girl, whose name is Yoli. She playfully moves behind me and hides herself from visible. I try to look where she could be, but she moves too quick for me to keep her in sight. All the while I could hear her giggling. At first slowly, before laughing uproariously. Oh my god, you dork. I'm just jesting with you, kitty. Yoli speaks as she giggles a bit. I could feel my face rend from embarrassment. I'm reminded a little bit of my brother's experiences with girls, especially in the form of a redhead who I know is now his girlfriend. Hello? My name is Takashi Takaru. My friends call me TK. I introduced myself to these two neighbors, having never met them before. They had to be neighbors, right? I mean, why else would these be here when the school's soon to start? Again, my apologies for Yoli's behavior. We've been tad energetic since our trip to America over the course of the summer. Speaking of which, my name is Haida Yori, but don't expect Yoli to stop calling me Cody anytime soon. Yori speaks, as he sounds quite oddly polite in tone to the point. Seems a little too good to be true. Yoli, giggling still, kneels down to Yori, with her much taller height being emphasized by kneeling down so low Yori is starting to look at her face. Cody, don't be so tense about the new kid on the block. I'm sure he's looking forward to us introducing him to Davis as we are. Yoli speaks. Davis? That name sounds familiar. Can't seem to recall why. I was sworn I heard that name before. These two claim to be his friends. Okay, I can see where this is going. Alright, I'll be looking forward to meeting Davis myself as well. I eagerly respond, hoping I would make at least a few new friends at a Diamond Elementary School, considering how distant I've become from everyone else over the 3 years. Yuri looks over to the side, turning his gaze away from me, as Yoli moves to stand as she pats Yuri on the head. Okay, he's kind of a party pooper at times when it comes to meeting new people, Yoli speaks. I could hear the clock ticking in my head. These two don't realize that. Can we just get to school already first? We got like 20 minutes left until the first bell rings, Yuri speaks. I breathe a sigh of relief in my mind. I hear Yoli yelp, my hair strands back in the back of my head. Bad move, considering my partner hiding under my hat. Something feels amiss all of a sudden, though. Ah, you're right. We'll need to hurry and whoop. Yoli speaks in panic before her voice falters. Gaze fixating above my head and oh no. Oh dear gods no. Tell me Paimon didn't get startled and jump. DK, that really startled me. What's going on? Paimon speaks and I look up, see him flying blindly in the air, my hat covering his face. I nearly freak when Yoli lets out a very loud scream at the sight of Paimon. I don't even see how Yori does behind my back as I try to get Yoli to calm down. A few waving hand gestures will probably help ease her, knowing how energetic she is so far in. Hey, you! The one with Takashi's hat! Get down here! Yuri shouts with an unconvincingly savage tone in his voice. This day can't possibly get any worse, can it? First, I wake up late. Then these two run into me with Yoli yelping and spooking Paimon, then prompting Yuri to quickly very ticked, and why do I hear loud footsteps approaching? Yuri and Yoli turn towards the roads, and I turn around upon hearing the footsteps drawing nearer. Oh dear, this is not good. How did a Digimon this big suddenly enter our world? Digimon entering our world hasn't exactly been an uncommon occurrence, especially for big ones. This Digimon appears large in frame, humanoid, clad with black and gold armor. Now Yoli and Yori are... Hold on. Stop right there, Takaru. You can handle this. You are older now. Paimon's with you. You always carry your Digivice with you in your shirt pocket. Check to see if it's still there, and when I pull it out, I begin to see the screen glow. Paimon manages to shake off my hat and suddenly goes flying to the wind. I don't care at that moment, though. I sense I need to fend off an evil Digimon invading the human world right now. Paimon! Let's deal with this one out the way we practice. Ready to Digivolve? That's that, DK! Paimon answers back, and I hold up my Digivice toward him as a shining knife engulfs Paimon. His entire body begins to glow before suddenly shifting entirely sides to normal body shape. Paimon! What Digivolve do? Paimon speaks before manifesting from the light as an armored, violet, silver-armored angel with 8 wings and a sword mounted on his arm. Magna Anzamon calls out. This is the ultimate level form. He had mentioned Warp Digivolution and how Tai and Matt had their Digimon achieve Mega Level, right? I'll learn how to use it as well. Only because Paimon can't become Mega Level yet, instead practice to try and skip Champion Level and go straight to Ultimate. There you are. The black armored Digimon shouts towards my presence. A wave of his hand, a bright green energy begins to form a circular shape. Magna Anzamon takes a battle stance in front of me. He looks particularly back at me. GK, escort Iori and Yoli to safety. I'll handle this on my own. Magna Anzamon directs me. I nearly shake my head. Yoli and Yori try to attempt to drag me away to escape. No, I need to stay here with you. I've never seen this type of Digimon before. We have no idea what we're dealing with. This could be a Mega Level for all we know. My concerns fall on deaf ears, however. That simply gets a chuckle from Magna Anzamon. Very well. I will take on this Digimon to prove our training had not been following us. Magna Anzamon speaks boldly. A big difference to its usual timid self is Paimon. I myself get dragged away from the fight. I look towards Yoli and Yori. Look, I'll explain later, but we need to get out of here. I warn these two. Yoli and Yori nod. Yori's eyes are closed. I can hear him muttering something. I carefully pick him up and escort him out of the area with Yoli assisting me. The day has been a bad start. How's the rest of the day go? I only wonder how much of a chance Magna Anzamon has against his foe. I hope our training has not been in vain. Cease what you're doing now, Archangel, before I'm forced to disarm you myself. I will not tolerate interference of any kind, not even from an angel like you. Lady Sigma speaks as she gazes upon Magna Anzamon, her hand preparing to fire green spears of energy out of the magic circle being generated. Who are you to speak such blasphemy against my Magna Antimon speaks. Lady Sigma chuckles a bit darkly. Thinking about Lady Sigma doesn't feel right to him. From what Magna Antimon can sense, she is a Mega level. Her armor radiates with the holy nature of vaccine Digimon. Despite all of that, she shows up with disregard for every human in the area. And suddenly begins making demands from an air of authority. Authority Magna Antimon can't recognize, due to having no clue what kind of Digimon she is or where she came from. Humorous that someone would say such a thing when they resemble that remark a little too well. I mean, after all, I am a royal knight. I have no need to answer to angels like you, nor do I care what you say in it. As Alpha Majority of Royal Knights, I am ordered to appear at times of extreme crises. Lady Sigma introduces. Magna Antimon still keeps his guard up as Lady Sigma eyes narrow a bit. Fine, as I need to remind you of one thing and one thing alone. I do not fear bloody casualties to fulfill my purpose, Lady Sigma states, before making a sharp turn towards the left. Soul digitalization, full power! Lady Sigma speaks in an oddly calm tone for what would follow, as a beam of crystalline green energy fires up from her hands, and in seconds, the entire city block is atomized to the ground. Magna Antimon grits his teeth, and you sense a sudden sound of silence for those occupying those buildings. Stop this immediately! Magna Antimon speaks, as aiming his sword high in the air. He draws a massive magical circular magic that summons forth a golden ring, which opens up to reveal a strange wormhole. The wormhole begins to force Lady Sigma's movement towards Magna Antimon. At the same time, the gate devours the remainder of Lady Sigma's energy beam in one fell swoop. Nice, but you're still an interference, Lady Sigma speaks, as he draws forth a white sword, pure energy in her right hand. You will yield before me, or perish like the rest. No care what at this rate. She's out towards Magna Antimon, as both of them glare at each other intensely. Magna Antimon achieves his sword and charges at her. Magna Antimon's moves are swift and powerful. With each strike, he tries to make it against Lady Sigma's armored body, focusing on her robust arms and legs. Quick to notice, his slashes and cuts with his sword are only marginally scratching her armor. At the same time, Lady Sigma's bulky frame and the wieldy nature of her armor prevent her from keeping up. She begins to charge a magic circle on her left hand. She steadies her right arm with her sword. Soon enough, Magna Antimon's attempts to cut away her armor reveal a nasty weak point that suddenly causes Sigma to falter in her step. As her knee armor crumbles a bit, suddenly disappearing faster than light, Magna Antimon paralyzes out of nowhere as he strikes Lady Sigma's knee with a powerful kick from both its heavily reinforced, sharply pointed boots. However, he gets careless with trying to take her out her other leg as Lady Sigma catches him off guard, slices off a few of Magna Antimon's 8 wings of her sword, fatally leaving him grounded, but far from out of the fight. Impressive as Lady Sigma's tall frame is compared to Magna Antimon's short, gracile fame, the latter still has the advantage of sheer agility, since his main body is not harmed from her attack. Magna Antimon jumps high in the air, fighting light accompanying his movements. He dives forward, his sword manifesting a giant beam of energy, or slicing vertically across Lady Sigma's chest, actually managing to pierce her armor, causing her to fall backwards. Lady Sigma's eyes appear closed, and Magna Antimon frowns a bit. I didn't want it to end like this, he mutters, only to hear quiet, subdued chuckling coming from Lady Sigma's body. Or instead, soft, quiet chuckling gives way to louder snickering, before turning to an uproarious laughter. Childless fool, you honestly thought I was what your sword could consider evil with that strike? You really think that such an attack would destroy me? How naive you truly are, knowing what hell your analog of a partner and unleashed upon my world. Lady Sigma speaks out, a massively boisterous tone compared to her usual subdued voice. She forces herself to stand as her injuries begin to heal at an immense rate. I'll give you this much, traitor. You fight well, but it won't matter, Lady Sigma speaks. Magna Antimon gates a bit, but he did not audibly gasp. Instead, he frowns as his mouth closes and gaze becomes serious. He sees his weaponry as he approaches Lady Sigma to stare her in the eyes. It's a 15 foot from where he stands before her. You invaded this world first. I think your danger to humankind has already become crystal clear. Do you repent for what you've done mere moments ago? Magna Antimon asks as Lady Sigma glares him down. Until these beings you call humans cease what being what folks like you call analogs. I will never repent. Good analog is a dead one. I hope you reconsider your actions in that foolish war you engaged in 3 years ago, Archangel. Lady Sigmund speaks bluntly, without emotion in her tone, as Magna Antimon grits his teeth. But you insist on referring to me as the one in the wrong here. What lies are spoken to you to give you this impression? Magna Antimon demands, and Lady Sigmund materializes a small object in her palm, handing it down to Magna Antimon. Magna Antimon looks at what he has received, stops himself from letting out a gasp. It cannot be. Magna Antimon speaks in a somber tone. The item he received is some kind of book. A logon indicating it to be a diary of some sort. Listen well, Archangel. If you ever wish to redeem yourself, read the contents of that book carefully. Learn. Remove all bias from your analog associates. Make judgment on your own accord. I'll leave for now. But let this destroy six in this town remain a warning for what will happen if we cross paths again. Lady Sigma speaks as a gigantic portal manifests behind her. She releases in the air, a giant pole transforming wings as he disappears into the portal. Magna Antimon is left looking at this odd book with deep concern. Small label on it visible. Diary of an Analog. Well, not much has changed, in my opinion. I mean, it's still good. Still interesting. It sets up the mystery quite well. Everybody's in character. The story moves at a good pace. There are references to things that were added after O2 came out. Helps develop the world a little bit more. Also shows in-depth knowledge of Digimon. Still good. Got nothing left. This is why I prefer to just show out the first chapter sometimes, especially when it comes to incomplete work like this. Because I really got nothing to say after that first chapter when I make my first impressions. A lot of times I prefer to highlight new and other fanfics to really start getting the mood flowing. I want to show off the other great fanfics that are out there in the world. Not just, the bad. I want to show people the truly great and classic fanfics. I also like to show people some classic ones. Why do you think I picked some of these stories, or why do you think it's rare that I go off and do a whole series except for a few exceptions? Because I want to highlight other fics. I have a playlist of Fandom Fridays, and the first video I have is to tell you the purpose of Fandom Fridays. But for those of you who have forgotten why this show exists and why this is, let me remind you guys, so that way we can all be clear here. This show exists as a showcase to show all the other fanfics out there. The good ones. Sometimes I'll encounter a bad one, like, say, Von Doom. But 9 times out of 10, it's a good one. And I prefer to actually show why it works, what's great about it. And most of the time, I only read the first chapter as a way to get you, the listener, a chance to see what makes it interesting, and maybe get you, the listener, to read it yourself. Weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's saved for the Sprawling Pony Fix. This right here is a special day to highlight other fanfics. Good fanfics. I know sometimes people might think, might as well rip this one. No, I want to highlight good stories like this. That's why I left it with only one chapter, so that way people can actually see and get a good taste of it and keep going. I already determined that this story was good a long time ago when I read that first chapter. And it still sounds interesting, and once this thing gets complete, I'll read all of it to myself in a nice little comfortable seat. All to myself. Now, of course, there are always exceptions. Sometimes I'll find a fanfic that I think really, really deserves a complete read through, but those usually have certain criteria. Number one, they have to be complete. And number two, they really, really have to be freaking awesome. Like with She-Ra in that Lord of the Rings fanfic I read once. Or that Sakura story that I had to put on pause for so long, mainly because of the content it was talking about. Really should get back to that. Our Maternal Instinct, I really, really gotta think it's spectacular and it's gotta be complete. So that way, I don't feel like I'm wasting your guys' time. So, to MF, great job. Keep going. Keep going. Finish this up so I can sit back, relax, and read it while drinking a cold Dr. Pepper. One down, thousands more to go. See you guys next time.